Stendhal is one of my heroes of interfaith dialogue, and he was a bishop of the Church of Sweden, and he proposed 3 principles for interfaith dialogue that can be successful. And I'd like to talk about those 3 principles and how they've played out with my experience here in religious diversity at Texas Instruments. So his first principle of interfaith dialogue was, if you want to learn something about another religion, talk to the people who belong to that religion, not to detractors. Don't go to the newspapers, don't even go to neutral third parties. And so the way that this has played out for us here at Texas Instruments is that within our religious diversity groups, we're able to have formal events such as bringing in a rabbi to talk about Purim, or having an intro to Islam session, or organizing visits to local churches, synagogues, and mosques where we can visit the place of worship of fellow employees. In addition to that, we've had informal opportunities through the friendships that we've developed in our interfaith network to have dialogues and email exchanges and learn about each other. And this learning has gone both ways for me. I've been able to learn a lot about the faith of other people I work with, as well as having the chance to explain my own faith and even clear up some misconceptions about my faith. And so one of the ways that this has played out is, for example, one time we organized a church visit at my church, and we had Muslim fellow employees come to that visit, but also one of the local imams came. And one of the really fun things was during the Q&A session, the imam asked us 3 questions that he specifically posed to give us a chance to say positive things about our religion. And then after the event, he made comments that eventually led to a series of joint service projects between my church and a local mosque, so that what started out as an interfaith work effort ended up spilling over into the community. The second principle of interfaith understanding that Stendhal proposed is don't compare the best in your faith with the worst in someone else's faith. Compare the best with the best. If you want to paint another religion badly, all you have to do is focus on the bad apples in that religion. But the problem is, all of our religions do have bad apples, and that's going to end poorly. And so Stendhal proposed a better way is to compare best with best. And within my experience in interfaith work here at Texas Instruments, that's been easy to do because some of the interfaith friendships that I've developed are some of the finest people I've ever met. And so, for example, one time when an acquaintance came up to me and said, "Craig, I just don't trust Muslims because of what I've read in the newspapers." And I was able to tell him about the co-workers I have here who are Muslims, who are friends of mine, who I've even had some deep conversations with, to the point that I can say that I feel that I understand and trust them. And you know, I think my personal experience actually resonated with this person. He was able to say, okay, you actually have reason to trust and understand people because you've met and dialogued with them. Which brings me now to the third point of interfaith understanding, which is Stendhal encouraged that we leave room for holy envy. And what he meant by that was leaving room for the idea that there might be something in someone else's religion that, even though it's different from your own, that you can admire it and maybe in a way envy that thing. And so when I had a Muslim co-worker come back from his pilgrimage to Mecca, he explained to me what he had experienced, and I was able to see that as a great thing of beauty. And even though in my religion there's not really something comparable to a pilgrimage, I was able to see still that there were parallels or echoes of things in my own faith that go along with what he experienced in his pilgrimage. And so I would just like to say then in conclusion that interfaith dialogue has been a really exciting part of my experience here at Texas Instruments. It's been exciting to have these interfaith events, to be able to develop amazing friendships. And I just constantly look forward in my work here at TI to the next cool event or the next wonderful friendship that I'm able to develop. And so, thank you.